The simplest way to put it, I have problems.
What up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Pain Management Podcast. I almost forgot the name of my own podcast. I'm one of the hosts on this show, but I'm not the only one. The supermodel, the man, the myth himself, Jimmy Moynihan, is the co-host here. What's up, Jimmy?
Hey, nothing. How are you? Oh, yeah, it feels so weird when you say, I feel so ugly.
Nah, bro. I'm going to be your cheerleader till you believe it.
Thanks. I got lit up in the roast last night. Just,
I can't do roast, bro.
You get put in your place.
The best roast I've ever had roasted against me was this guy once told me that I was in a movie. And
our guest.
Oh, yeah, I'll get to this dude. He's Chubb. He's here. And he told me, hey, Roderick's fresh off his Hollywood appearance in the movie Planet of the Apes, where he played the planet. And I was like, I will never do another roast again.
Yeah.
Nice, that's a zag.
Yeah. He got me. It was a drive-by shooting of roast. And now, as our producer of the year has told us, there's a host, there's a guest with us today.
I never know how long your stories are going to
I appreciate that, man. Our guest is here, and I've known you for, 2-3 years, I guess?
It'll be 3. Must be. I kind of known you when I came to town. I'm Nat Rogachevsky. Hey, guys, how you doing?
Yeah, man, it's been a while that I've known Nat, man. Yeah. So, dude, I thank you for coming on the show with us.
Yeah, great to be here with you guys.
Heck
the
yeah.
bros.
Nat, where are you from, bro?
Boston, Mass.
Another Boston dude, man.
Yeah. They're going to flame me, anyone from Mass. I'm from Newton, which is like directly outside of Boston, but what are you going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Zenobia Del Mar from
fantastic.
Murderer, bro. She's here. And we know Mike Hudak's from Boston is here. So yeah, there's some killer Boston talent up in this town, man. Let's just go ahead and get into this, man. How do you feel about Austin now that the smoke is settled and LA has definitely planted their foot here? How do you feel about the scene?
I'm good with the scene.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with my place in it. I dig the way things are going.
Yeah.
My bigger commentary is on the place. I'm over the place.
Mm-hmm.
The place is not. When I was escaping COVID from Boston, Massachusetts, I was like, this is a dreamland.
Right.
And then everything returns to normalcy. I'm like, everything's pretty ugly around here. You know what I mean? It looks like shit and people are weird. Yeah.
Yeah, they take that weird thing seriously here.
Yeah.
I was here before the big influx of all of y'all, so it was just like I was used to what it was, like it's like the prettiest place, but it's still better than a lot of places I've been in. So
yeah, it's weird and not in a good way. So this podcast, we talk about mental health issues. We've talked about addiction a lot. I know all three of us are sober folks. Is that okay to mention?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Big
cool.
time.
I figured. So we kind of dive into basically we kind of just let it go where it goes, but alongside with addiction, is there any mental health stuff that's kind of plagued you throughout the years? Or?
Sure. Depression and anxiety for
sure.
It used to be like only depression.
Yeah.
And then over the last 6 months, the anxiety has been like the bigger thing that I've had to focus on.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know it was a thing, but it's one of those things where when you clock it, you're like, oh, I've had it the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
But I thought it was just being restless.
It's normal.
Yeah, it's just what it is. So the bigger focus has been on the anxiety.
Yeah.
Over the last few months, and that really like became very prevalent after like a big breakup. I left a 5-year relationship.
So big trigger there.
Huge trigger, and then it like snowballed. And then for the first time ever, I started having pretty significant panic attacks.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And that was like something I didn't. And then, we're sober guys, so we really feel our feelings. And then also like I'm like a program dude. So I have all this stuff to like view my feelings through, like this lens through this work. So the whole time I'm having this panic attacks and I'm like, it's probably something I'm doing wrong. You know what I mean? It's something I can pray away.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I'm big on prayer and all that stuff. And then eventually, like weeks go by, like I'm getting no sleep. I'm getting these panic attacks. I'm waking up into a panic attack.
Oh, that was the worst.
Shit, it was real as fuck. And it literally just got to the point I was like, all right, I'm going to go talk to somebody.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So-
It got so bad that you just
Mhm.
sometimes that you need that desperation, at least to reach
I had
out.
to come. I had to have a come to Jesus moment because it
Right.
was just like, all right, I don't want to drink, I don't want to take drugs, but like currently being alive sucks balls.
Yeah.
Which like it hadn't been the case. Like with the depression, it goes up and down, and to some degree with like healthy patterns of behavior, it was like I knew depression was going to come back around, but like some of the lows got a little higher. But I had just kind of accepted that like every couple weeks, 3 weeks, like a low is going to come.
Right.
You just accept that. No medication, no therapy at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And then the anxiety hit me so hard, plus the panic attacks, that it was like, okay, I think you might be worse than you thought.
Yeah, 100%. And
Yeah.
anxiety, I mean, between depression and anxiety, it is, I mean, when anxiety is bad, it is unbearable,
Mhm.
at least for me. And
Truly.
so you seeked help, you got a therapist, then or
Got a therapist, started meds for the first time since I was like 15, maybe.
Yeah.
They gave me meds when I was 15 for depression, and as soon as I figured out that they started working extra good with booze, I was like, all right, let's check it out some more,
Oh yeah.
and some more, and some more.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was screwing around with, and then eventually I just really leaned into drugs and alcohol, so I didn't need to really worry about the depression because I was just getting fucking loaded the second I felt any doubt.
Self-medicating.
As soon,
Yeah.
I mean, immediately.
Yeah.
So, and then I wasn't adverse. I'm not like an anti-meds guy like at all. I'm just like a big proponent on like trying what you can on your own first and like starting to make healthy decisions and stuff like that. And that was doing okay for the first however many years of my sobriety. And then again, like when this thing happened, it was like I did all the prayer, I did all the exercise, I called all the guys, I went to all the meetings,
Yeah.
I literally did everything I fucking could. And then eventually I got on mirtazapine, which is like saving my ass. That plus like intensive therapy,
Yeah.
great.
Combination.
The waking up at 3 a.m. with him panic attacks was the one that got me. That was 3 a.m. It was always 3 a.m.
a.m.
Just out of a dead sleep, good sleep. I'm waking up in a fight with somebody and I have no idea why I'm anxious.
Yeah.
So
And then you're meeting that your instinct is to either like repress it or like go against it because it's like this is a foreign body
Mhm.
when the truth is it's yourself.
yeah.
And that the therapy helps with huge. But you're like in this conflict
Yeah.
with you're essentially at war with yourself and you're trying to fight a thing and the whole thing's happening inside. So it certainly doesn't make it any better.
No.
So yeah, those waking up, man, not cool.
No, I hated that because, man, it'd always be. And then sometimes within 10 minutes after waking up, my heart's still racing. I still got the jitters. But I can't tell you what it started that whole thing in my sleep. Like, it
Yeah.
wasn't a nightmare that triggered it. It's just like, now I'm awake and I'm mad that I'm awake. But
Mhm.
I woke up fighting. I'm swinging. I woke up. I remember
Wow.
jumping out the bed, swinging and going, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, and you just have to kind of embrace it, wait it out, you know. But the first time I got a panic attack was in college, and I thought I was dying.
Mhm.
I called my parents and said goodbye to them.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I thought I was
Yeah.
getting a heart attack, and I went to the ER, and they gave me a $600 paper bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't
We're
that the
still waiting
wildest?
for payments on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So panic is anxiety, panic attacks. So would you say your anxiety is under control now?
Yeah, for sure. It's like as mild as it's
Right.
ever been, and frankly, like the medication like brings the lows way higher, just
Yeah.
way higher.
Yeah.
It also is like this specific one you take at night, it kind of just knocks your ass out a little bit. And now it doesn't really like knock me out, but it
Mhm.
really assists my sleep. So just by nature of having regular healthy nights of sleep, that's a
Yeah.
huge plus to the mental
Oh
health.
yeah.
And then it's really the therapy and like some of the practices that I've
Mhm.
been doing, that I've been learning in therapy, that when it does start to bubble up, I can identify it a lot
Right.
better. B, I can kind of like talk to it. And the biggest thing is like learning to love it. You know what I mean?
Right. So
Like
you're-
getting that it's just like this little dude that has existed
Yeah.
inside of you. That's like this kind of like one of those like flash screenshots of like some little kid where it started with. And
Yeah.
then you're kind of just like, all right, dog, I got you. I get it. These fears, some of them are reasonable. I understand why you would
Mhm.
think that, but we got this together. And then when that settles down, then I start letting big guy in. I'm like, hey, God's got both of us.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
he's like, all right, I can trust that. And so it all kind of comes around and in together. So then that's all the therapy stuff.
I find it refreshing because in comedy, let's be honest, most of our friends are very big atheists.
Oh, yeah.
So it's very refreshing to hear you say God and talk about prayer because
Oh, yeah.
that's not very common in our business, man.
For sure.
Yeah,
like-
there's not a lot of
No, there's not.
even spiritual folks. I guess there's spirit, but yeah,
There are some
Not a
spiritual
lot of
people,
talk
but
about
like,
prayer.
there's not a lot of times I hear people say, "Yeah, I'm centered in prayer," and there's
Mhm.
God.
yeah,
Even amongst my friend groups, and I also believe in God and prayer, but very, very rare that I hear another comedian say it to the point where I was kind of like, I'm actually shocked, and this is refreshing to hear.
yeah.
I have found that I pretty naturally gravitate to
Mhm.
people who have like some kind of spiritual practice of whatever kind, because I don't give a fuck about denomination.
Yeah,
I don't like. I'm just so stoked if somebody's finding a relationship with a God that can help them.
yes,
I just get so excited about that because I know what it's done for me. So I have found time and time again that the people that I naturally gravitate toward that seem to just like have that kind of sense of empathy that is pretty rare in the business in general.
hmm
There just seems to be this direct correlation with the cats that are open-minded and empathetic and like patient and spiritual practice. It's just what I found, you know?
Oh yeah. No, you're not wrong. I'm not. Everything you said, you
Yeah.
spitting facts,
You
bro.
know?
But yeah, when I heard you say it, I was just like, "What? Okay,
Yeah.
that's dope. Nobody's doing that hardly anymore, man." I mean, there are dudes like I think one of the greatest cats in this business, man, is Landell Shepard.
Oh yeah.
And Landell's feet are so firmly placed on
Oh,
the ground. He's one of my boys, like
He's
truly
a
one of my
rock. Mm-hmm.
closest friends, man. And there have
Yeah.
been times he just seems to be tuned into. Let me check on that fool, man. So I
Mm-hmm.
always appreciate that. But he's very much in tune with his walk as a Muslim, and I just enjoy talking to him.
Yeah.
But definitely spiritual rocks in this business. You better have
Yeah.
at least one or two in your corner
You got to,
sometimes.
bro.
It's nice, and that's kind of one of our first talks. We got pretty spiritual pretty quick.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is refreshing because I feel like with God, it's hard to it's hard to talk to everyone about it sometimes.
For
you
sure.
know?
Yeah.
Or not that you need to, but it's nice. Like when me and Nat talk, it's just nice to like.
Oh yeah, no.
we
I
can-
know that's got to be a great outlet, man, because
Yeah.
that lets you be a full person of yourself. And there's this aspect that you have that you just don't discuss with a lot of your coworkers, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, what I learned was that I don't ever feel the need to like bring it up unless
Yeah.
it just seems like where the conversation is going.
Right.
But at that same token, this has now been reinforced with experience, but I was kind of taught to never be apologetic about my faith.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's like it really is in modern times kind of a courageous act to be openly. I use the term God loving. I never
Mhm.
I never vibed with like God fearing, because for me it just seems to be like homie wants what's best for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's just how it worked out for me. But regardless, so I never, when someone asks, I kind of get prepared to be not like defensive at all, but like I'm like, yeah, that's my jam. You know what I mean? That's,
Oh, yeah.
that's the shit. And it's a real coat of armor that you get. You know what I mean? It really is. It'll protect you. And oftentimes I have found that my experience with spiritual matters has both like directly and indirectly like positively influenced those around me.
Right.
I was talking to a buddy of ours, a really good comic, and I won't say his name just because it's not my story to tell, but we were in New York at the same time. And I went because my ex's sister was running the New York City Marathon.
Right.
And it was one of the coolest experiences of my life, because you're cheering on this person doing this unbelievably difficult thing.
Right.
And everyone's in the same place. Every language is being shouted. Every religion is being celebrated. And everyone's in here for one singular common goal. And it's like human greatness. And so I'm cheering people on from Ethiopia and Ecuador. And then I see my ex's sister, and we're like, oh my God. And we're all just together in this thing. And I was having like just the time of my life.
Right.
Everyone's just celebrating. And my buddy, who's kind of in the pits, was with us. And way later, he told me, he was like, dude, watching how excited you were for other people, like had me really check myself, because I couldn't get down with it. So I got myself into therapy, and I started and it changed my fucking life. And I'm like, dude, that's the shit. And I told him honestly, I was like, to be honest, man, I don't attribute any of that like good vibe and spirit they get to practice. It's not my own. That doesn't come from me.
I'm just a conduit.
100%.
Yeah.
As soon as it's me again, that's when I was like, fuck all this shit. I don't give a fuck about running. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly.
Like,
I'm
that's
running
not-
from the police or to lunch. There's all the exercise I'm doing.
Amen, dude. Truly. And so that's, but yeah, and I also find it really, really refreshing. I always take like a mental note of it whenever I seem to connect with somebody about that kind of shit, because it's just cool, man. It's just cool shit, and it's so rare. You know?
No, it is. It's very rare, and I think a lot of times, man, it's just that I watch people, and I get that in my friend group there are people that have been hurt by people that were Christians.
Yep.
You know, and they were like, well, they were a Christian and they hurt me, and then you got this attitude about them. And I get that. But I tried to explain to a friend of mine, it's like, can I tell you how many times that white people have hurt me?
Yeah.
And I can't blame every white person.
Right, of course.
Or you and I would not be talking right now. And so they don't want to hear that when I break it down and it makes sense. Then they can't hear me. But I was just like, dude, whoever hurt you, just because they wore the title Christian doesn't make them one.
Yeah.
I can tell you I'm a woman, but it don't make me one.
Right.
Okay. So let's always look at what the fruit on that tree was and how they treated you before you start.
You'll miss the beauty of the forest by the ugliness of some of its trees.
Yeah, man. So I ended up having to my whole plan, and I've said it before, I'm just trying to love as many people as possible before I check out. And some of y'all make that extremely hard. Okay. I'm just putting that on camera right now.
Yeah.
Some of you are very difficult to love, but I'm still going to do it. But yeah.
Because it comes back, man.
Yeah, I've never had it not pay off double. And that wasn't even the reason I did it. It just works out that way.
There was a dude that I can't say where I know him from, but
A lot of times we can't.
yeah. But he was this old head, and he was like just an institution in his own right at these places, and helped like millions of people. You know what I mean? Just been around forever. And it's funny because this dude specifically, he didn't like me. He just thought I was like slick and like should keep my mouth shut, which is great. I would understand not liking me if I was him. But he would say this shit that blew me away. He's like, all right, he had this thick Texas accent. He'd be like, all right, here's the deal. You wake up every morning, you got these 2 big jugs, and they're full of joy, and they're full to the brim. Your job as a sober man, you get in that truck, you go around town, and you spread all that joy as far as you can get till it's depleted. And then you go to sleep with a peaceful mind. And here's the deal. While you're sleeping, God fills those buckets back up every morning, so you're never without joy. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Hank Hill dropped some knowledge on you.
Straight up. Straight up.
Makes
Straight
it
up.
easy.
That was Hank Hill right that one, boy. He came through like,
Yeah.
okay, Hank, thank you, bro.
Yeah, he passed away recently. Rest in peace.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's-
Oh wow.
Sometimes you
I
need the
love
Hank
that.
Hills like that, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you keep it simple like that, and that brings me joy to spread joy.
Yeah.
I want to see people happy. I'm very, I get upset if other people are upset. You know, I get sad when other people are sad. I match emotions for sure.
That's your empathy, though, man. Because you know what it's like to be there.
I know what it's like to be there. And it's hard, especially people that I love, when I see them hurting. Yeah, that's difficult.
It's real. It's also your greatest strength.
For sure. I think so too. And like if I wasn't doing comedy, I would want to be a therapist, I think.
I can see that.
One,
Easily.
I liked, you think, I like to escape myself. I like to just refuge from myself.
You're also great. You're very great at practicing presence with others. You're particularly good at that.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
You're particularly good at meeting people where they're at.
Yeah. I try to be, I can pick up, I feel like I can pick up vibes of people pretty quick. And I try to be present. I try to speak calm and listen. I like to actively listen and feel where people are. I don't know where I'm going with that.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
Not everybody has it. Simple as
You
that.
didn't have to go anywhere. You were saying the thing that we needed to hear, brother.
That's right.
Seriously. Because you've done that to me here before shows. We'll be sitting here waiting, and he'll always ask me, hey, where you at? What's going on? And I'll feel like, oh, Jimmy just sees me all the time, bro. But he talks so calmly, and it's like, oh, we're on a mindfulness therapy session. I'm just waiting for it to just go, okay. You hear that babbling brook? Yeah, Jimmy, I do.
He'll bring you here now. Yeah.
Jimmy, you should do that, man. You should lead a mindfulness meditation session one day for us.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I would be down.
Yeah, man, because I can
Cool.
see you doing it, man. We get the sound of a babbling brook praying and just get you. I mean, if Ari Shafir can lead yoga, you can lead mindfulness meditation.
Yeah.
I'm throwing that out there because he did that at Skankfest. He led a yoga session.
Wow.
Oh, that's neat.
Cool.
Yeah, so I think mindfulness meditation would be amazing.
Yeah, I'd be down to do it. Have either of you done a sound bath?
What's that one?
Yes.
Okay, so a sound bath is, it's hard, how do I explain it? It's these, I think, clay bowls.
Mm-hmm.
Is it clay?
They use bowls.
Or maybe
They're
silver.
like bronze,
Bronze, okay. And
as well
different-
as like large, bassy like cymbals, like the big ones
okay.
that you hit.
Yeah. So the one I went had a bunch of bowls. I guess there's cymbals too. But and then they have these like drumsticks, but like it's circular. We were in this yoga studio when I was doing it.
Oh, wow.
And they just turn it. And it's these like, it's super loud and like high frequency and like different tones. And it's almost impossible to have a thought.
Really?
So
it like fills you up
fill completely. I mean, I'm talking like it's
in your
so-
body too,
yeah.
because it's like heavy vibration.
heavy
okay.
vibration, and it's an hour, and it's just, I mean, you feel high after.
So is it supposed to empty
Just
out your
emptying
thoughts? and just-
everything. Yeah. And you're meditating during it.
Oh, I love that.
The whole time. And they had this one, it's called a floating sound bath. So you're just laying in these like little like hammocks, just like in the air.
Oh, nice.
Just some
I
self-care.
did the one I did. It did not have as significant of effects, but it was because it was at a music festival and I was high
yeah.
as shit.
Yeah, these are a bunch of sober folks.
First of all, it's hard to be mad when you're high as shit at a
Yeah,
music festival. You're already practicing a Zen thing.
I was already like, hey, what's
already
up?
in touch with the Most High at this
Let's
moment.
do this shit.
Yeah.
I have a buddy, man, and his favorite thing to say is every time we're at some kind of convention or festival like that, he's like, man, you want to go walk with me in Jesus? And when he says that, that means he's about to lift off from the planet. So when he says walking with Jesus, I already know what that means.
What a
Like,
nice way to say that.
He's about to take off, and he's asking you if you want to go on the walk with him. And I did it one time. I said, yeah, let's walk with Jesus. And man, look, I was like, gravity is so important.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't feel my feet or the ground under me right now.
That's a long walk.
Yeah, it was a very low. I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
so. But it was also this thing where it was like I was like, it felt like mindfulness meditation at the same time, because then he'd be like, man, you feel that breeze? And then I'd be like, yeah, I do. You know, you feel it hit your face. And then he'd say, just hear the rum of the crowd. You can hear the roar. It's a soft roar of the crowd. So he's doing mindfulness meditation
Right.
while he's got you high as shit.
Yeah.
But it's a group of us together.
Mhm.
And so you're just in with this group like, yeah, we're on this journey together. And I'm just looking at them like, I'm gonna leave the planet. I'm headed to Mars.
Yeah.
Please, somebody tie a rope to me.
Yeah.
I'm floating
Totally.
right now.
Totally.
But yeah, it was a good time, man. I love where people can just tune into that. And so music festivals, amazing time to do that.
It's great.
Because there's so much joy in the crowd.
Yeah.
And
lot
I don't
of
know,
joy.
unless you're at like Travis World, Astro World. Maybe,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe there's not as much joy in that crowd.
Yeah, there's too many people in that crowd.
There's a roar, but I think it's panic.
Yeah.
I need out. Yeah. That is still, but I love that, man. That's a
Yeah.
good time to do it.
I think mindfulness is like a cure to so many things.
Yeah.
Just being aware.
Mhm.
The awareness is important, and then also acting on the awareness, because I can be aware, like I can be aware of something and still just let it bring me down.
Totally.
But awareness is definitely always number one for me, to be like, okay, I'm acting up. I'm acting up here.
Mhm.
I'm playing the greatest hits in my head of anxieties. You know those greatest hits. and
Oh,
just like,
yeah.
oh yeah. So like now I kind of I got this from the what's it now, the not Be Here Now, but I forgot what book it was, but it's like to judge your thoughts, not critique them or be judgmental of them, but just to observe them
Mhm.
and like be like, oh, that one. So like that's what I'll do sometimes, is like if I have a negative thought or a bad thought or a scary thought, I'll just be like, oh, that one again. I'm doing that one a lot today.
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
ever let those thoughts run wild, and next thing you know, you're mad about a situation that has not happened, that your brain
yeah.
has tricked you into thinking is
yeah,
going to happen?
yeah, I'm mad at someone for doing something they haven't done.
Yeah.
100%.
That's the worst. That's why you got to be so mindful, because
Yeah.
I've gotten mad at people in my head
Oh,
about
100%.
stuff they never
Never
said.
said,
100%.
did.
But there was this argument that took place in my head, and I said, that son of a bitch.
And
Yeah.
then a little part of you is like, all right, but they didn't do that. And then the bigger part's like, but they could.
They could.
And you're
Yeah. And what are you going to
Yeah.
do? Are you going to go through this and be ready for it? And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I should
Yeah.
be ready for it. But I don't even think they would really do this.
Yeah.
Why am I prepping for this thing that does not exist?
The brain does too much.
Oh, yeah. The greatest conspiracy theories I've ever heard about me were made by my brain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, wow, you're terrible.
Definitely our worst enemy
Oh,
by
yeah.
far.
Uh-huh.
If it wasn't as good at writing jokes as it is, I'd get rid of it.
Oh,
Totally
jeez.
get rid of it.
Right.
Hey, can you drive a nail right here?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, just right here. Just
Find a
type that
place.
part that says anxiety. Take him
Yeah,
out.
Nicholson me.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yes, man, that is the worst, man. It's like, this stupid brain, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it, man. That's why mindfulness brings you, okay,
Yeah.
Roger, where are we at right now? What's happening right now? Did any of that happen right now? Okay, we're
Right.
going to let that go right now. If none of that's happening, let it go.
Yeah,
So-
100%.
For
and
sure.
that's I mean, that's why I did drugs, was
Mm-hmm.
to quiet everything down. So now, not high, not drunk, nothing. I have to deal with these things every
Mm-hmm.
single day.
Yeah, I had a buddy relapse at Skankfest, man. I
Oh.
felt bad for him. I felt
Yeah.
bad because he'd been on it. He's been sober for a while, and I'm so proud of him. But he came up and told me, I relapsed. And I was like, did you? And he said, yeah. And I could get how it happened, because I ended up at somebody's penthouse that was there for Skankfest.
Yeah.
We were having a blast in that penthouse. And I'm like, I'm used to, if I see somebody bring out a little baggie of Coke and I go, oh, they're about to do some Coke, and they're doing little bumps, like, yeah, no problem. Then I see them bring out the bullet, and they're
Oh.
hitting the bullet, and I go, okay, that's a little bit more Coke. But if I get to your penthouse and it looks like we could shoot Scarface 2, then I believe this thing that Denzel Washington says, always leave a party before the devil shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also leave a party before the feds or Diddy shows
Yeah.
up.
yeah.
I've added to that,
Yeah,
Denzel.
you see Diddy, get the fuck out of there.
This is
man.
the cocaine that if you say Diddy's name 3
Yeah.
times, you summon him to this room,
Yeah.
and we're all in trouble.
Shows
then.
up already biting the lower
Yeah.
lip. now.
Yeah, stop that. I'm like, no, Diddy. No. Yeah, we're out, bro. So yeah, that's a part of me where I was like, I just was partying everywhere.
You
But
got to get out of there.
when I see that
sometimes.
much show up, I'm like,
Yeah.
it's been real. Good night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to check
And
out
you can be
sometimes.
cool. And you're just like, yeah, it's good. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, and that's me all the time. I don't care what anybody else is doing,
Uh-huh.
because I
Yeah.
got to be in charge of my faculties. But I also know I miss mushrooms. I miss mushrooms with
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I will say that if you've never done them, if you've had a bad trip, I get it. I've never had a bad trip on them. So
Right.
I
Mushrooms,
kind of
no.
miss them.
Yeah, for sure. That's the one drug that I'll think about probably the most. But I remind myself, someone in the program told me this, like, hey, because like I had about a year and a half, and I was talking like I can't stop thinking about like resetting with mushrooms, and it was because I stopped putting work into the program and stopped living the principles of the program.
Yep.
So I was missing that feeling. So I wanted the quick fix of mushrooms. But he reminded me, I'm like, yeah, you can trip and you'll reset or have a spiritual experience, but that's not, it's going to last a week or two and then go
I also
away.
personally have the data on that one
Yeah.
where I had raw dog 30 days off of everything, but my big thing was opiates and specifically heroin. And I did 30 days all on my lonesome, and to celebrate, I took some acid as my celebration
yeah.
for 30 days. And I was shooting up by the end of the night.
Yeah,
I went through. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is so. I was like, man, this is a beautiful. I'm like, and like the ass with the in a sober mind. It's been a long time. Let's get some dope.
It's always how it goes. It's like,
take long
you
at
just
all.
open that door a little bit. It's like, we missed you, Dad.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
It was how quick it can take.
Yeah,
That's how I felt bad
seriously.
for my boy because I knew what
Yeah.
he'd done, but I was like,
I
I see
know.
how it happens because
Yeah.
if you're not just like totally just raw dog, like I go to
Yeah.
Skank and I'm just like, okay, we're raw dog and I'm drinking water all day. I'm eating fruit. I'm literally trying to stay as healthy as possible at Skankfest, which is
Right.
boring. It's stupid. I hate it. But no, I had a blast, but it's also like, okay, this is a full thing. We're going to drink the water. We're going to eat healthy. We're going to make the square meals a day. We're going to watch our intake. We're going to eat to keep our blood sugar stable. So I stayed on that to stay focused.
Yeah.
But man, it was like every time I turned around, a bunch of my friends were there. And I know a bunch of people in Vegas. So it's not like it's right there if I want it, man. But it's just like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
It takes work.
Yeah, because at the bottom, at the end of the day, it's just me wanting to get high.
Yeah.
I can dress it up
Yes.
as like I want a spiritual experience or I want to,
I
be
do love
lifted.
I do love the spiritual experience.
Me
but,
too. Yeah,
But
of course.
dude, you know what? It wouldn't be hard if it wasn't so fun. It feels
exactly.
Of course.
amazing.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Nobody you know with a drug problem is doing it because it hurts. Okay,
Yeah.
Maybe when it come down, that hurts. But
Yeah.
for the most part, being high is euphoric. You're
It's
just
fucking-
this
yeah.
is- the world is brighter and the cartoons look greater.
If it wasn't better than being sober, I wouldn't do it.
Exactly, man.
Hey.
But being sober is like one of those things where it's like playing a hard video game. You walk around like, bitch, I'm sober. Okay. Like Dark Souls champion over
Yeah,
here.
totally. And it's like, and that's why I had to get sober, is because eventually, being fucked up sucked so bad, but being
Yeah.
sober was worse. So I just had
Yeah.
to figure out how to do sober and enjoy it. And when I went to the places where they promised me that could happen, I was like, fuck it, I'll believe you today.
Yeah.
That's enough. And then I just stuck around and it just came true.
Yeah.
So it's like, and so that spiritual experience, I get to have it pretty regularly. Do you know what I mean? We were talking about music festivals. I wanted to bring up because I remember I still go to a good amount of concerts, and I go to there's no room I'm afraid to go in. Just like yourself, until I don't have any more business there,
Right.
I'll stay. But then when, the mountains start piling up, I go, okay, we're not in the same place right now.
Yeah.
So I'll go home. But having said all that, I'll go to a fucking music festival. I don't give a fuck. People hand me a joint, I go, thank you. I just pass it.
Yeah.
I don't mind at all. I'm safe. I'm protected. But I also am still an empath like Jimmy. And so I get lifted up by a good crowd. Like if everyone's there for the same reason. And if it's people I love, and people I know, they're fucking working hard. They're not drug addicts. They're
Yeah.
treating themselves. They deserve to get fucked up tonight. You know what I
Right.
mean? They don't have the disease I got. So power to you.
Yeah.
And they're doing it. And then back to raising their kids and everything. It's like when I'm with those people, it's like I'm high, man.
Yeah.
It's like I'm fucked
yeah.
up. And I used to hustle a lot. So for the first couple of years, I'd go to these music festivals. I'm fucking beaming, and people are like, "Yo, hook it up." I'm like, "Dude, I'm dry. I don't have anything for you." And they're like, "Well, then how are you like this?" I'm like, "That's just love, man." Like,
Yeah,
you know what I
man.
mean? Like,
I'm
That's
high on some
amazing.
different shit now. It's
Yeah.
called life.
yeah,
Yeah, and dude, raw dogging life, man. It's so weird to say that to people because I told my friends, yeah, I'm just raw dogging this thing. They went, with nothing. I said, therapy?
yeah.
I'm just raw dogging life right now. And it's weird. I never thought, that'll be fun. That could be a great thing to go do. But raw dogging life, like you say, is work, bro.
It is work, but it is exhilarating it's a ride, and you're feeling things, and you're happy, you're sad, you're hurting.
And to be fair, we also have it kind of nice, like, because we get to kill. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Yeah,
that's nice. I don't think a lot of other people don't
That's such a good point.
get to do that.
Yeah.
You
That's
know what
such
I
a
mean?
good
We're
point.
wicked lucky that we still have that. You know?
Yeah,
It's like,
we get that release. We get that little the high from comedy.
and it's
Oh, yeah.
all about me. You know?
Yeah.
It's like,
Every time.
it's like,
Send me your adulation. Thank you. Thank you. I love it. But I will say this. This happened this week because, there's a hurricane about to hit Florida.
Yeah.
What is it? Harold, I guess is what's going in there now.
Milton?
Milton? Yeah, it's Milton.
Milton, yeah.
It's always one of them old names from the
Yeah.
1930s. Some old white guy from the 1930s is
Winston.
attacking Florida.
yeah.
Mildred, hey. So they canceled 4 of our shows this week.
Ah,
Oh, man.
yeah.
So that was like they told
Yeah.
me Sunday. We kind of woke up Sunday morning having a conversation, and I was like,
Mhm.
"Hey, are hotel rooms still going to be affordable? Because it seems like a mandatory evacuation is happening. Where we're going to be is the evacuation zone.
Yeah.
Let's think through these numbers, fellas." And so they ended up canceling it later. And I remember telling my brother, I was like, "Hey, man, they just canceled all those shows, so I guess I'm home for a week." And he said, "Is that good news or bad news?" And I went, "Oh, it's just news." And that was when I got hyped about raw dogged life. Was
Yeah.
that before I gotta
Right.
break away and get away from this, man.
Right.
Now it's just like, it's just news. I'm going to go eat Taco Bell. See ya.
Yeah.
So it was,
Yeah.
it was just kind of what it was. It's like it doesn't make or break me, man. This is a good life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just take it as it comes and roll
Yeah.
with it, man.
That's huge. I forgot what I saw. Someone was talking about just trusting the system or whatever. Like you don't have to fuck with anything. It's
Oh
like,
no.
because things are going to happen the way they are. And since things are going to happen the way they are, you don't have to just whatever.
Just walk
Just-
through it, man. Yeah, it's gonna happen whether I get mad or
Yeah,
not. So
trust the process.
if the two options are get mad or not get mad, I'm gonna choose not get mad every time because I like
Yeah.
walking around feeling
I,
I'm about to be wacky.
I wish I could choose not. I wish I could live that because I mean I'll correct myself quicker than I used to.
Sure.
But I'll still get mad.
Jimmy, I told you about the night I gave up a whole night of sleep to argue with a fool on Reddit. Remember
Yeah.
Butt Titties 3939
Yeah.
and I argued
Yeah.
to 6 a.m. over a porn video game. It was
Oh,
the
you didn't
stupidest
tell me that
argument I've ever
part.
had in my life with this person I don't know.
You do this as a bit, yeah?
No, this is
That's
a real
crazy.
it's a real
It's
No,
story.
but that's
crazy,
crazy that
yeah.
you don't do it as a bit.
It should be a bit.
100%.
Yeah.
This dude, Butt Titties 3939 and I
Oh.
argued to 6 8. Like I went and argued with this man from 3 a.m. like, I'm going to bed. Then he said something and I was like, oh hell no, I'm saying something. Then he answered back. And now the next 3 hours of my life is arguing with this fool. 6 a.m. He's like, whatever, cuck. I was like, if you weren't my cuck, you wouldn't still be arguing, you little bitch. So I'm like, no, I can't let him win.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So wait, it was a comment section of it's on Reddit. But
yeah,
it was
we were on
about
Reddit and some
porn.
subreddit about video games. It wasn't
Oh,
even
I thought you
about.
said porn.
Yeah, we were arguing about a porn game
Oh.
in a video game room. That's not even the video game room, but
Wow.
the game we're arguing about.
Incredible.
I'm just
Wow.
gonna argue with this human being
Yeah.
who I
Uh-huh.
don't know. It could be AI for all I know. I was
Yeah.
arguing with Skynet for all I know.
Yeah.
But a Skynet could eat my whole boss. I got a whole fight. So yeah, I get it, man.
Yeah.
You just sometimes you're like, yeah, I'm being wacky. And then one day somebody just goes, I got the right mix of kerosene.
Yeah.
And now you're like, all that good work and mellowness I did is about to go everything I've been holding in, this is where shadow work becomes important because that guy's coming out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It gets under your skin. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
people do, obviously. But it's the best feeling in the world when I feel like Neo in the Matrix when I'm just like fucking shit.
Yeah.
I used to fucking
Yeah, man.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I used to have to get into it, man. I used
Yeah.
to that was like a big thing for me, and I get it from my mom, and I'm glad I learned how to conversate through arguments with her and stuff like that.
Right.
And I learned how to like have long conversations, but I used to have like if I noticed something that I considered like an injustice,
Right.
I was the first guy to get in there,
Mm.
even if it had nothing to do with me.
Right.
Man.
Yeah.
First, dude.
I
had to say
gotta stand up for the bullies, man. And I'm like, you're a bully. I don't like you.
Mhm.
Let's go.
Yep.
Now I'm going to torture the bully.
Mhm.
And that was, dude, it's easy to let that. And bro, let's be honest. The internet is not getting better. It's getting worse with every year. Because people now are just so. I'm not going to make it a political thing, but I just feel like a lot of times we look at our leaders and we can go, they would argue like this. So it's cool for me to argue like this and drop an insult.
Mhm.
But I want you to know, I'm a fat black guy from the South. You can't say nothing that's going to hurt me. I got something to hurt you. I've argued with professionals,
Let's
bro.
mix it up.
Yeah, 3XYs. You think I ain't been in some fights for my life? Crazy. Yeah, I come with the heat ready to go, but I was like, no, Roderick, you got to let this go.
And I'm always like, man, I forgot what it was, but it was like a New York Times cartoon or something. It's like never argue, but if you do, make it brutal. And it was like a better word than brutal. It was like incisive or something like that. Like cut their legs off if you're gonna get in.
Yeah, no, man, that's me. That's who I was, and I felt so bad the next day because I had to travel somewhere to a show out of town, and it was like, this is a 7-hour drive, and I'm driving with barely any sleep, and I'm like, I hate you, but titties 39.
Right.
You took my sleep. You took 3 hours of sleep away from me to argue with you.
Butt titties.
Dude, I had this with this one comic, and he's a buddy. I don't dislike the guy, but every now and then, you know, he'll be like this, and then he just kind of gets a little cunty, and it is what it is. And every now and then I feel the need to check him because it's like, that's just not the vibe I'm on.
Right.
But the problem is the way I check people is I get down to the causes and conditions really quickly. And it's not. So I hopped on the phone with some buddies to coordinate a concert we were meeting at. And the guy in the back, I go, yo, what up, boys? They're in one car. And in the back, I hear him go, what's up, you fucking Jew? And I just wasn't there at that time. Like, I just not where I was at. And I go, and which is not like, you know, in some other context, I would have been totally fine with it.
Right.
And I was never not fine with it. I just didn't feel like doing that right now.
Not today.
So he goes, what's up, you fucking Jew? And immediately I go, can you imagine being so broken that you can't just say, hey, how's it going?
Let's just dismantle this fuckface now. That was your butt titties 39. Like, we're not doing this 3-hour argument. I'm cutting this at the legs.
So he came to me at the concert, immediately apologized. I was like, it's all good. Let's just party. Like,
Let me just take your legs from under you and shut that down.
I was just not. I didn't want to dance. I wanted to finish it. You know what I mean? Like, and
turn the music off.
You know, that's right.
But you know, I think there's a lot of times there are people walking around being that way, and they just don't know. I could dismantle your whole life in a few seconds. I'm being nice to you
with your chest out.
I'm being saved. Okay. Leave me be. Leave me be, sir. Dude, I love that. Nat, you got to tell us, what shows are you running these days? I know I see you a lot around over at East Austin still.
Yeah, I'm there a bunch. That's like the home club. That's kind of, they show us a lot of love. I mean, I love the Creek as much as anywhere. It's the best. They treat us really good here. We run our show at the Alamo Draft House in Mueller every Friday, secret level comedy. It's a great show. Tickets online.
And Chris Chan on that one?
Chris Chan on it. It's always a great turnout. It's a great show. But I'm lucky, man. The work here is good. Do you know what I mean? I'm really fortunate. A couple of my buddies came back from Boston, haven't seen me since I was over there. Like, dude, you got fucking nice with it. I'm like, there's a lot of work. You know what I mean? If you want to get good here, you can get good here.
It's about the reps, man.
Yeah.
I used to always everybody used to say you go to New York to get your 10,000 reps in, and I was like, yeah, I've done that over
Yeah.
the years, but it's getting into a situation where you can actually get those quality reps, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because I think just going to an open mic and doing 3 minutes for a bunch of bitter comics isn't necessarily a quality rep.
It's not a quality rep. You can get a lot of quality reps here.
Especially when your worst joke is the one that hits the hardest with like people who literally are brain dead in the back, and you go, I learned nothing today.
Nothing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've
yeah.
had jokes that I've thrown that are throwaway lines, and when it hits harder than anything I've worked on, that it's just like,
Yeah.
well, that hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Serenity now.
Yeah, man.
Then I'm like, oh, I'm putting this one in the canister in case butt titties 39 shows back up.
Let me ask you this real quick. How important do you think stand-up is to your mental health?
It's an excellent
Like
question.
take away
Is this a recurring?
This is the first time I've asked this.
Got to be a segment.
It's
'cause
got to
that's-
be.
It's so great. There is legitimate value in creative pursuit.
Oh, for sure.
Solely the creative side of it is nothing but therapeutic.
100%.
There's not even writing a bit that you did. We were talking about this earlier today. Even writing a bit that doesn't maybe work out, but you felt good just being creative and chewing on something and really getting to the bottom of how you feel about something
Yeah.
is a valuable process for anyone. We just happen to have a vehicle to do it in a way that entertains.
Yeah.
And so we're really lucky to have that. In that way, I'll tell you, over the years, not just has my comedy gotten better, but my ability to navigate the landscape has gotten so much better. I don't really spend any time with people I don't heavily fuck with.
Yeah.
And so if you can do that, it's something I look forward to.
Yeah.
I look forward to going to the places with the people I love. I really get to look forward to that. When the first couple years, because I was out here, I was doing comedy for 3 months when I got here. And it was like, I knew I had some skills, but I didn't know how to practice any acceptance as it pertained to this thing.
Right.
Because it was like the first thing I'm like even remotely good at. And it was a lot of, why am I not this? Why are they that? And when those questions start to go away, when you're like, man, you get to just be really funny and you get to hang out with some really cool people, flip switch.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, me and Jimmy were talking about this today. It's cool here. There's so much stage time. There's so much work. You can kind of create your own space here to some degree.
Yeah.
You choose who are your people. And I don't really have to, I can get a lot of work and do a lot of cool things without it ever really having to like show face. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's like, you got to be around a little bit. Of course you have to be, because so many people are like, why haven't I had you yet? It's like, we don't really talk. You know what I mean? So sure, there's that. But it's like, it doesn't mean I have to go up to, into the back of creek and there happens to be a circle of people that like just might not be my best friends. And I don't have to, what up?
Yeah,
I don't need to do any of that fucking
Thank
shit.
God we don't have to do
You know
that.
what I mean? So it's like, it's about, in terms of the mental health piece, me and my friends, we really build each other up. I really believe in their comedy.
Mhm.
And then if I don't believe in their comedy, I just don't talk about comedy with them. You know what I mean? We can just be buddies. And so if you're my homie and we're not talking shop, there's a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I lost a friend behind that, so I get it. Yeah.
It is what it is, man. And so we keep it positive, and we also do a really, really good job of checking each other when the conversation gets too negative. Because the furthest I'll go when it comes to someone, what I do not do anymore is, if someone asks me my opinions on someone else's act, the farthest I'll go is, it's not for me. That's as far as it'll
That's
go.
the best line you can say.
Yeah.
Because there's a look.
I hope they get paid, man. You know
that's
what I mean?
the worst thing right now is I think everybody in here has got these opinions on everybody's act, and I'm not knocking anybody. Look, there are certain moves that people are going to make to be, the edgelord comic. That's not my style. If it's working for you, Jeselnik's done it. I think we don't need another Jeselnik. He's doing it better than anybody in the business.
Yeah.
But if that's how you're dealing with comedy, then great. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope you get your gigs. But man, it's easy for me to just go, they're not really for me.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take away from the fact that they're building up a fan base or they're doing shows. And that's just, I think a lot of times I can say that, but man, I lost a friend because she was in a situation where I'm watching her like refuse to acknowledge who her crowd is.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I got to get the downtown crowd. You're not a downtown comic.
Right.
And I kept trying to explain
You're
that
an
to him.
out-of-town comic.
Yeah, just like
Yeah.
you're not for downtown, bro. That is not your
Yeah.
group. And you're telling these jokes. And one day I told her I wasn't going to book her because she was not going to do well
It's
in
a
the show I was
liability.
putting together.
Right.
And, whoa, she ended our whole friendship. We
Well-
don't talk. It's just like, oh, could have just said, not for me, not for this showcase, and let it go. But
Dodged a bullet.
yeah, I was just trying to be
Yeah.
a friend and like, hey,
Uh-huh.
this is not where you should go. But that ain't everybody can't hear that. Right now.
It's interesting too because you're not spending time dwelling about her market, and a big place where this came up. I feel like the most recent conversation for a lot of people. This was really eating people's lunch. Was like Matt Rife. Everyone
Oh,
was getting their
God,
lunch
dude.
ate. Couple things. One, I've worked with him multiple times. Nothing but nice to everyone he interacts with. Like will genuinely not. He actively tries to not bump people. We'll pop in and they'll have a hearing. He's like, I'll close it out. You know what I mean? Like he's working on it. Pays the shit out of his feature. Fact.
Mm-hmm.
And also, some of the people that you see talking about, well, what they're doing to comedy, I'm like, you think Matt Rife is fucking up your demo? You think that your skunk-faced, dirty joke telling ass is going to get these hot bitches that are coming, that he's creating new comedy fans.
Yes.
He's growing the market. And he's not, dude. What ticket were you going to sell that Matt Rife took out of your pocket? So it's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Some people
So
are so
delusional.
detached from reality, bro.
So delusional.
So
It's
detached
like,
from reality. You're just
bro.
sitting here like, bro, what are we doing right now?
straight
Yeah.
up, man. And you see it, and I mean, the people that are talking the loudest, it's like they look like they got hit with a shovel, and it's like, bro, it's a different
Yeah.
game. It's
The
all
circles
good.
couldn't be further away.
And it's also like, hey, think about how many times, and everyone has different ways of navigating this. And like, think about how many times some girls got dragged to a comedy show, doesn't give a fuck about stand-up, she's only there because her boyfriend's like, no, you're gonna love Nick Mullen, babe. You're gonna love him. And then she, of course, does not love Nick Mullen.
Yeah.
So be it. You know what I'm saying? So be it. But that same girl could be convinced to go to a Matt Rife or a Trevor Wallace show or
Right.
whatever, and she's just having a good time, and she's like, maybe I do like stand-up. Maybe 5 years from now, she's a fucking Louis fan.
Right.
You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
Like,
Yeah.
so who knows how it plays out? You don't, it's just, so when people got all fucked up about that, and then you see them about shit within the scene, I'm like, bro, in 3 years, none of us are gonna be talking about any of this shit. You know what I mean?
At all.
You're either gonna be leveled up further on your path, God bless you, or you're gonna quit. You know what I mean? Like,
You said everything right there with that. You're either going to level up or you're going to quit.
Yeah.
Because there's the only two options in this business. And I've been doing it 22 years. So in your face, bitches.
Yeah.
I'm on the road to 25 and I won't quit till I get there. That's it.
fucking sick,
Because, man,
dude.
it's wild how people got so mad. And I just,
Yeah.
like, he never bothered me. But I think the biggest thing I had a problem with was that everybody did start thinking, what? All y'all do is crowd work. Not all of us.
Mhm.
Some of these
Yeah.
comedians, you don't want to hear their crowd work. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
You
It's
don't want to
terrible.
hear them do crowd work. Trust me when I
Yeah.
say this.
Dude, I saw this video. It was so fucking funny. This guy, you know that Will Angus guy? He does like Friday beers. He does like some funny sketches. He's buddies with like Willie Simon in LA. He worked with Casey Rocker recently, and he does this spoof of the intro to every Netflix special, and it's like in black and white. It's like very serious,
Mm-hmm.
and it shows him, and he's a kid, and his parents are like, "You're not funny. You're gonna be a doctor, or a lawyer," and then the teacher's like making fun of him for being a class clown, and like all the stuff that like happens to us that makes us comics. And he's like smoking a cigarette before he's going on stage. He's talking to his buddy, and he's like, and they're like, "Will, you're up in 5." And he starts telling the story, and he's like, it's so funny. He's like, this guy goes to a doctor. He's like, "Doc, I've been depressed." He's smoking a cigarette, getting ready to go on stage. "Doc, I've been depressed." And the doc's like, "Well, there's this clown who lives in town. You got to see him." He cheers up, and they're like, "Will, you got to get on stage." He's like, "1 second, I'm telling a story." He's like, "There's this clown. He lives in town. He's cheered up everyone I sent to him. He cheers him up. He's gonna get you out of your depression. His name is Pagliacci." And "Will, you gotta get on stage." He's like, "1 second, I'm going up." And then he looks to his friend and he goes, and the guy says, "But Doc, I am Pagliacci." and it's all serious. And then he runs on stage and he's like, "What's up, you fucking retards?" He starts jerking off the mic. And then the best part, he just goes, Austin, Texas. What the fuck is up? It's so funny.
So
dude.
accurate.
It's so
So accurate.
It's like this art, dude. And then he's like,
Yeah.
you idiot.
And here's your
Yeah.
comedy.
I've seen that show, and I love those.
Yeah.
Those guys are wild, man.
Yeah,
Oh.
dude. God bless them, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, but so accurate. And yeah, so to the mental health stuff, it's like you're just gonna keep spinning your wheels till it's not gonna, work out. I mean, we've lost friends over this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
people go out, they don't come back. Some people go forever. You know, I mean, it's a very real thing. And if you don't have, that's why it's so important to have all these other aspects of your life in check, including your mental health, because it's like, this is not. I feel bad for young guys who are so deeply into comedy. Guys are 21, 22, their whole life is comedy. I'm like, bro, I like hope you stay pure, because like the degree of sick people that you're interacting with on a normal basis, and that's leading you to believe that this is normal behavior.
Yeah.
Some of the ways that we interact with each other is like, you need an outlet. For me, it was spiritual, but like,
Yeah.
because it's like,
They're in their formative years.
yes,
and
man.
They're
Watching
still
people
growing
be
up.
sick, and I don't mean just
Yeah.
drinking drugs. I mean, what do you have for me? What do I
Yeah,
have for you?
Of
This
course.
transactional
Yeah.
relationships, and it's like, bro, you need some homies. That's what, dude. I had a buddy come to town, an old friend of mine, a kid I used to fucking get down with, like, not in a good way, and he's sober now too. And I was so excited for this kid to come out, and he's just started chopping it up. And he comes through and he goes, "Oh, by the way, man, I've been meaning to tell you, I've been hitting the open mics." And I was like,
dear.
"No, you were supposed to be my normal friend. I needed you, and you blew it."
Yes, dude. No.
Like,
It is so weird, because I go to open mics now, and all I want to do is encourage people. I hear a good joke, and I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
you better keep that joke.
yes.
And I've told, I don't know how many open micers I said, hey, Carlin always said, everybody has one joke you wish you wrote. That's the one I wish I wrote. And if you let that joke go, I'm going to steal it. That joke is amazing.
Yeah.
Don't quit. Take care of that joke.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, but man, it's such a weird world, man, that we're in with comedy. This is why I always say this, is that you got to have those other outlets to life.
Mm-hmm.
Because if this goes bad, which it can do, and it can go bad real quickly.
And you can be good and it can go bad.
Yeah, and then you better have another outlet in your life where, hey, I got this other job, or I got this relationship, or I got something else that's going well. So
Yeah. Do you think it's good to have obviously it's good to have other things in place in your life. Yeah. And that's something I want to work on for sure, is having like other things.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't.
life is a cycle, bro. And it's, if one area goes bad, but the other 5 are amazing, that's cool.
Yeah.
But if the 5 things go bad and comedy's amazing, yeah, that's okay. But still, you might want to look at those other 5 things. What are going?
But
Is
the
comedy a
thing
reason they're going
is,
bad?
You can succeed in comedy with your life going to shit.
Oh, God.
And I mean, like, I was in this place for almost an entire year where I was miserable until 8 p.m. every night, until I got into that car to go to a show. Like the second I would get into a car, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I had absolutely nothing, just living with my parents and just depressed.
That thing where you lay in bed all day until you
Yeah.
got a shower to go to the show?
Yeah,
know
very
that.
grateful for my
Yeah,
parents,
man,
but it
for
was
real.
like until the show. But that's no way to live life at
No.
all.
That's why I was lucky that I was like 4 years sober before
Yeah,
I started.
that
'cause
is
I really
perfect.
I'm not going to say that you have your life together by 4 years. It's a lifelong process being
Right.
sober and getting in touch with your spirituality and everything. But thank God I like knew what I had to be doing no matter what
Yeah.
to just be okay
Hmm.
before I started. And then all the stuff that I learned in sobriety, like part of the reason I have a good standing in the community is not just because of the product that I provide, which is a high quality product, but because of the principles that I practice in my like day-to-day interactions. And I learned all that. And if I really believe that if I started like a day earlier than I did, I don't know that I really think it all happened exactly like it was supposed to. Do you know what I mean? Because I think if I started like a week before my first open mic and tried to navigate this space without like all the God that I had in my life and all of the practice that I had in my life, I don't know how it would go, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have some ideas, but
Yeah, I just don't know, bro. You
Some
know?
things we never want to know, man.
Yeah,
Just like you
yeah.
don't know how lucky you are the way it worked out.
That's right.
So.
That's right.
All right, we're about to get out of here. Tell us where we can find you online.
It's nat.comedian, nat.comedian. I'm Nat Rogachevsky. I got great clips up there, all kinds of funny stuff that is worth the follow. And there's some cool stuff in the works that I can't talk about yet. But also, we're at the Alamo Draft House in Mueller every Friday. It's a great show. These guys come all the time. It's awesome. Yeah, that's kind of the only places you can find me right now, as well as clubs all around Austin. I'll be in Boston next week. I don't know if that's going to drop, but I'll be in New York City after that. But
Yeah,
check it out.
check out Nat. Easily one of the best comedians.
And a
happening.
solid hang.
I was gonna say
Thank you,
in
man.
Austin, just
Yeah.
like you're absolutely killing it in
Thanks,
this
man.
scene,
I
and just
appreciate you.
like it's so much fun to watch you. So definitely check Nat out.
Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Jimmy. I appreciate
Jimmy,
that.
I've heard good things about the show that you did for me while I was at Skankfest.
Yes.
I heard about you, so tell us where we can find you.
Wait, what show?
The one you did in Liberty Hill.
Oh, you heard
I'm
good
so
things?
proud of you, man.
Okay, good.
I'm
Okay,
so proud.
thanks.
Yeah, I couldn't do a
All right.
show, so I gave it to
Okay.
Jimmy, and Jimmy put the whole thing together and ran it, and I've heard nothing but good stuff.
Yeah, it went well.
Great.
And so that went good. And
Jimmy's a killer.
Yeah, he is.
Thanks.
He won't admit it, but he really is so
For
good
real,
at it, bro.
Those jokes are fucking ironclad.
Yes.
Damn. Holy moly.
Yes, bro.
Yeah, Jimmy.Moynihan on Instagram. And where can we find you? Let's remind the
At
folks.
Coach Silky. And also, I want to give a shout out to my boy, Rasta Jeff at Irie Genetics. He is a breeder of special plants, and he loves my comedy. And we've met 2 years in a row at Skankfest, and he saw all my sets every year.
Wow.
And then he, some 38,000 followers. He told them all. He made a post like, "Go
Hell
follow
yeah.
my boy Coach Silky," and my follows blew up. So
And let me just say, bro, I mean, there might legitimately not be anyone killing harder in Austin than Roderick.
I'm trying, bro.
I mean, it's the years of experience. You just see it. It's actually fucking crazy that he's
Wow.
not gigantic.
Yeah.
Like it's
man.
the craziest thing ever. I don't know what's the next move, bro, but like if you don't know Roderick's work, you got to go find him. Check out his I mean, put him on your show. He fucking will destroy. Put him
Dude,
on live.
Absolute
I
killer.
appreciate that, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously. I appreciate that was a love fest, people. See how that's done?
That's how we do it, man. That's how we
do
survive,
it.
man. That's it.
We can
Yeah,
all
you're
eat.
right.
We don't have to be fighting each other.
Mhm.
Okay.
Straight the fuck up, man.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, man, I'm gonna get out of here. Dude, kudos to both of you, man. Y'all are the reason I'm having to work this hard because I'm not trying to get lapped by no young dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay alive out of just pity and anger. And Butt Titties 39, I'm coming for you, brother.
Yeah, fuck you, Buck Titty 39.
Yeah, fuck you.
All right, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. Also, before we go, shout out to the Creek in the Cave studio for always
Yeah.
letting us do this show.
real.
Also, shout out to our producer, Justin, because he's the greatest in the world.
Mhm.
And
bomb.
please, please, please like, share, subscribe. That is helping us. We're really fighting to get a season 2. Y'all are not making this easy. Do you think I want to go back to working at Chick-fil-A? No, I don't. I've never even worked at Chick-fil-A. But I'm having to think about it now.
They'll go back.
We're looking for sponsors. We'll have to do whatever we got to do. Okay. So, guys, thank y'all. Peace.
Peace out.